Hi, everyone. Marisa Stone here with Simon Says Social and the Systems Lounge. And I want to welcome you today to the 2018 Premier International Women's Business Systems Virtual Summit. And I am super, super excited to have you here today to learn all about the systems that our speakers are using to get things done. So today we have Katherine Dean here to talk to us. And guys, if you have not heard her speak, she's absolutely amazing. And today she's going to talk with us all about building our financial legacy. Now, this is super important for those of you who are still trying to get a handle on your finances. Katherine is your go-to person. So let me tell you a little bit about her. So Katherine is known as the financial empowerment woman because her experience in the financial industry has helped hundreds of business owners, entrepreneurs, individuals, couples, and women create their path to wealth. She's the founder of Living Your Worth, Inc., and popular programs like Wealthy Woman Within and the Wealth to Freedom Formula program, which both are absolutely amazing. Katherine has her MBA and is a certified financial planner. She spent 20 years guiding people to achieve their financial goals and build their businesses and be on their path to financial freedom. Katherine is also a renowned speaker and wealth coach. She has her own target retirement plan and receives multiple streams of passive income. If you don't know what passive income is, we're going to talk a little bit about that later. She will enlighten you to use your own vision of your future to empower you for financial growth, wealth creation, and building your legacy, all while empowering your career to gain the financial confidence and independence you've only dreamed about. Katherine lives in New York City, in the happiest town in America. You're going to have to tell me about that in a bit, Katherine. Along with her spouse, 2 daughters, and 2 dogs, Baxter and Roscoe, which sounds super cute. According to Katherine, transforming your relationship with money will impact your family, career, and financial future. Katherine, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here.
Hi, how are you? I'm so glad to be here. It's exciting.
I'm so excited to have this conversation because this is so important for entrepreneurs to really get a handle on their finances, right? So, yeah. And guys, you're going to learn. Katherine has a fabulous way of explaining all this. So let's dig in. So let's just begin at the beginning, Katherine. What is a financial legacy?
Financial legacy. Well, financial legacy can be any type of financial legacy that you want. I'll give you a few examples about that. So for me, I'll tell you what my financial legacy is being created to be. It's real estate investments that my children are going to be able to collect passive income from. Trajectory is they'll be paid off, hopefully by the time I pass away. And not that I'm stopping now, but we have trajectory every few years to purchase another investment property in real estate. That just gives them passive income so that they don't have to work as hard as I have had to work. And the other part of the legacy is setting up both my children and then eventually my grandchildren. I do have young kids, so if they don't have kids, then it'll be some charity or some donor advised funds that I'll do. But really setting them up with investment portfolios as well so that they can have an easier financial future, because I am doing exactly what I thought I wanted to do when I was younger. It just took me a while to realize after going through a divorce and going through all of that, what was really important to me. And what's important to me is building something that my children can either step into as a business, or they can also start collecting passive income, when I'm no longer here. That can then be in turn handed down over generations. And that's the legacy that I'm instilling in my children, is really the financial mindset, having that passive income to really make it easier for them, but also give them an access to things that I didn't have access to when I was younger. So college education, all those things that are going to be paid for that I actually don't have to think about. It's just almost on autopilot, which makes it really easy and simple after thinking about how much way back when it was like this thought of what do I want? And now it's happened, and it's happening more and more. And it's like, you can see like peace of mind comes when I think about it. So so that's a legacy. A legacy is whatever you want to hand down to generations after you. So,
wow. And that's fabulous. And I love this idea that you have come to a place where now you have peace of mind, because like so many, entrepreneurs are still in that kind of frenzy, and and being able to, be confident and rest assured that this is taken care of, that's an amazing feeling.
Yeah, it's and believe me, 7 years ago, I went through a pretty bad divorce. It was a 2-family income house. So, the mortgage, I was behind on my mortgage, credit card debt racked up, and I was in the industry and wasn't doing what I was telling my clients to do. So what I did was I was like, okay, what is the roadmap? Like, what do I need to do so that I no longer have to have the financial rug ripped from underneath me anymore?
Right.
And that's exactly what I did. So I put, like you said, a system in place that anybody can follow to create financial peace of mind and financial freedom for themselves.
Yeah.
So just from all that struggle, and believe me, it wasn't the easiest roadmap, right? Because it was trial and tribulation. But what happened was then I finally said, okay, what did work? And
Right.
how can I share this with other people that don't necessarily have $500,000 or $1 million now, but can get to that point?
Right.
So that's really the system I put in place. And I speak around the country and do workshops on this because I find it so imperative that people just have that thought that money doesn't necessarily have to be a difficult thing. That anxiety, stress-ridden thing out there, it becomes just a tool and an access for an easier financial future and an easier future overall. Because
Right.
yeah, when you have that peace of mind, then you don't have to worry about and stress over other things, and money is something that we need, right? Money isn't going away.
Right. Right.
And
And it's a major source of conflict and strife for a lot of people.
For
right?
sure. And relationships and in business. I mean, we all know even some entrepreneurs or business owners, you sometimes have a partner that you're working with, and you might not be on the same page financially, especially in a household with your spouse. You come from 2 totally different backgrounds. And
Right.
how do you bring that together and do the whole financial compromise so that you both can get what you want out of the relationship, including out of your financial lives? Like somebody may want to spend a ton on vacation, but somebody else might say, no, I just want a ton of money in the bank. And you really need to come to some sort of agreement on how you're going to use that and utilize money going forward and in your future.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, so that's what I do, and I love what I do because I
Yeah,
get to see incredible transformation.
and I love that about you. That's one of my favorite things about you is how passionate you are about this and about
Yeah.
reaching women and helping them to change their, their financial, legacy and their financial freedom, right?
Yes. Oh
So,
my goodness.
so let's apply this to entrepreneurship for a moment. Why should entrepreneurs be concerned with building a financial legacy?
Well, first, okay, as an entrepreneur, we all know how we can have a ton of influx of cash, or over the course of a year, we can have an incredible year, and maybe the next year isn't as successful because we might be, let's say, shifting the business a little bit. So we're not out there, we're not getting a ton of business in, but we're kind of, on the level playing field, but not making as much income. So as entrepreneurs, we have income really goes up and down and up. So first, we need to make sure that we have something in place so that when we do have those little bit of troughs, that we can maintain our business.
Right.
So that's number one as an entrepreneur. Yeah. So that's definitely incredible. Like that is such a necessary resource.
Yeah.
Then number 2 is as an entrepreneur, right? Taxes. I come across a lot of entrepreneurs that don't realize you bring in $20,000. Yeah, you have to allot and and put aside a decent amount for taxes. It's not just this windfall. The government wants their piece, right?
And they will take it, and they don't care.
And then if you don't take into consideration taxes, then at the end of the year, you're behind, and then it's going to take you that much longer to catch up.
Right.
So it's really just being mindful of how the money is coming in, how it's flowing in, where to allocate it. And also, as entrepreneurs, we may love what we do, but we may 5-10 years line invest 100% of our proceeds back in the business and not in ourselves. And there's always that saying, pay yourself first.
Right.
I kind of paying kind of seems like an obligation to me. So I talk about investing in ourselves first, because if we invest in ourselves, our future self, by $100 a month, $200 a month, whatever that is, you're putting aside that little nest egg that is creating your legacy for the future, that is creating that easier financial future.
Nice.
You're not working so hard for your money. Get your money working for you. That's the incredible thing about money. It can actually work for you. You don't have to do all the work.
Right.
So, yeah, which is pretty incredible. It's like compounding interest is like $1, and then in a few years I have $2, and I didn't have to do anything for that work. That's an incredible way to look at money. It's
Yeah.
just access for your freedom, really, is what it comes down to. Yeah.
And that's another thing I love about what you teach, is that you really teach women in particular that, money is a tool and this is how you do it. So
Yeah.
that leads me to my next question. What if I have almost no knowledge about financial planning at all? Is building this financial legacy something that any female entrepreneur can do?
Anybody can do this. Obviously there's a learning curve along the way. And I have a system that I put in place for this. Plus I work with people in a group setting or private as well. But really, it's just starting with understanding how money works. It doesn't matter if you have debt. It doesn't matter if you have, it could be credit card debt. It could be student debt. It could be business debt. It doesn't matter, because wherever you are right now, you can start to create a legacy for your future. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of maybe shifting a few things in your life financially, looking at things a little differently, and putting intention there and just having the plan. So I come across a lot of people that say, oh yeah, I tried that before. And I'll say, well, what plan did you put in place? And I get like that deer in the headlights look, like, what are you talking about, a plan? I'm like, yeah, resolutions, right? Resolutions come and go very quickly. And, I'm going to save $5,000 this year. I hear a lot, like 5,000 or an emergency fund. And then comes February, March, and it's like, that just went out the window because there was no plan. Right. What I like to say is you start with the end result in mind and you work backwards on what needs to fulfill to get to that legacy that you're creating.
Right.
Just if you say 5,000, that's very arbitrary. Like, well, I'm not sure how I'm going to get there. And
right.
I hear a lot of that. So I'm like, okay, let's back out. Let's actually, what are you creating it for? Like, is it because if the plumbing goes, you don't want to have to think about it or put it on a credit card and have that worry and that stress? Or is it that you want to go on a family vacation, this incredible family vacation you keep thinking about for years and you just never get there? Like, what is it that you're creating? And we'll put the plan in place.
Yeah.
So that's as far as anybody can start to create a legacy for their future or for their family or whatever it is that you want to create for your money and for your financial future. Anybody can start.
Nice.
Yeah. It's just taking a deep breath and allowing somebody to guide you along the way. And I love that. I love when people come back and they say, my business, this is a lot of what I get. My business is doing so much better because all of a sudden, like, I own my worth. I own what I'm doing with my finances. Therefore, I can have easier financial conversations with clients. And it's like, all of this comes about when you just start to, have that conversation about money, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Very.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you say to your clients is that money is a huge source of energy. As business owners and entrepreneurs, we're usually putting our financial future last. And I think you've talked a little bit about this as you were, explaining the answer to the last question. But why is putting our financial future last problematic?
For instance, there is a time value of money. The sooner you start to save, the easier it'll be to accumulate more for the future, right? I mean, that's like anything. Just like the sooner you start your business, the easier it is to build over time. Same type of thing.
Right.
So the more intention you put into investing in your future self, it becomes really easy and becomes habitual. So we are habitual as entrepreneurs to invest in our business, right? Because we want to just keep building our business and building our business, which is incredible. That's why I love working with entrepreneurs, because we get each other. I'm like, I understand the whole concept of investing to build.
Right.
But what happens if, let's say you are $100,000 business owner. So, you're a 6-figure business owner and you do that year over year over year, you grow 5% year over year, but you never put money away from yourself. Guess how much money you're going to have to continually make over time right now. It becomes really also for your peace of mind. And as a business owner, it's like, no, I know I have this set aside. So I have my, oh crap, money is on this side. And if I ever need to tap into it, at least it's there. But when you don't have that security behind you, it's really hard to be able to take the leap to the next step in your business.
Yeah.
To take the leap in trying to do something new because you feel really insecure that, God forbid, you put $10,000 into something, and there's nothing backing you. Then what do you do? Because there's no fail safe there.
Right.
So that's why when you start doing it right away, so what I tell people, especially right off the bat, is like just 10% of whatever income you're bringing in. I know it sounds like a huge amount, But just think about if you made 100,000 and 10,000 was on the side right now, how much easier it would be to keep investing and keep focusing on your business because you have that amount put aside.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That little safety net, so to speak.
Oh, for sure. The safety net is so powerful for your, your mental state too.
Yeah.
You start to think differently. Like it's like you keep lifting yourself further and further. And then multiple six figures, you're like, I could do that because look, I have this set aside. So why not take that big leap? Because I know it's going to build my business more. Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another thing that you work with your clients on is owning their worth. And you alluded to this just a few minutes ago. What does that mean and how do we do it?
Okay. Well, this year is an incredible movement, right? I mean, for women entrepreneurs, women business owners, just women in general, the movement, which I could almost get tears in my eyes thinking about where I was 20 years ago in a male dominated industry, right? Wealth management still to this day is very male dominated.
Right.
And it took me a really long time. Like I have my MBA, my CFP, I have a graduate degree, like all these things, right? Do you know how long it took me to actually realize my knowledge and my expertise? Like what blew my mind was once I started owning my worth, then all of a sudden my clients started to realize like, oh, wait, I can charge these prices because I am valuable. Yeah. And what I find so incredible is, and this is not about men versus women or anything, but men will apply for a position or take a leap when they know 40% of knowledge. Yep. Whereas women want to know 100% knowledge. Yep. Like, we can actually believe the fact that if we jump off the cliff, we're going to support ourselves and learn the technique as we go. Right. We want to know everything beforehand, which is a lot of times what holds us back. Mm-hmm. So once you start owning your worth and owning your expertise, then you can start having conversations with people like, no, these are my prices. But I can stand behind my prices. I can stand behind who I am as a person, my expertise, and I can actually start building my business according to what I own in my worth. And I find that a lot when also the money conversation, when women start to open up the conversation about money, it starts to also allow them to start thinking about their worth, because money is such a foreign thing sometimes. But we're taught this from very young, right? Right. Like even, 80 cents on the dollar, like our society ingrains in us that we aren't worth more than 80% on the dollar. Like we should be charging less. Like that's really the mentality. Yeah. But once you start shifting that mentality and be around people that are powerful, that are lifting each other up. Mm-hmm. I almost said a word, but let's get rid of the naysayers. Yeah. And that is what really starts to open up a lot of doors for us in our businesses, is when we start to lift and own expertise. And then we start to collaborate with people that are in the same realm. Right. And everything just starts to come full circle. Yeah. And so you'll notice, and I'm big on vision boarding, but you'll notice like year after year, all of a sudden your income's going up and then your net worth is going up and you're like, oh, look, this crap really works. Like it's working. It's, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe that starts to happen over time, and then it allows you to take those leaps in your business. Yeah. And which is so incredible. So that's actually the name of my company, is actually Living Your Worth Inc. Because I was like, women just don't own their power. And once women start to own their power, incredible things happen. Like incredible doors open up and incredible changes happen for them in their businesses.
So one of the things that you alluded to just a moment ago was this idea of a healthy relationship with money. How does that impact everything we do within this, within our finances, and also within this idea of building this financial legacy?
Good. That was perfect. You led me right up to when we start talking money. And I'm not saying everyone does this, but I don't know if I'll ever have enough. Right there, you're already imprinting in your brain, you're never going to have enough, right? Or if you increase your income by 20% one year, you tend to then start to live up to that extra 20%. And that happens often. Like you're making 50, then you're making 60. All of a sudden your expenses miraculously go up to $60,000 a year. It's amazing, right? Right. Because we tend to also spend on stuff that makes us feel really good. Yeah. But then we have buyer's remorse afterwards, right? So our whole mentality, and I, again, believe in affirmation statements. I talk to them with my clients. I have them repeat back to me. I know it sounds really strange, but because when you look at yourself in the mirror and you have an affirmation about money and you're like, money will easily come to me. I want to be making this amount every year. All of a sudden, like the mirror believes in you, right? But
Right.
you don't believe it yet.
Right.
So until you start to believe that in yourself, then miraculously figure out a way to get it for you.
Right.
But we learn. I grew up in a household where my parents they were, upper middle class real estate investors, which is kind of funny. And there was always this thing of we don't have money for that. No, we don't have money. Nope, you can't go get that. Nope. It was always like a no, which constantly puts roadblocks in your way because you're mentally blocking yourself from opening that up, right?
Right.
So I had to retrain myself. And what was interesting is after 34 years, my parents got divorced over money. I got into it's like I lived the same pattern. I got into a relationship, fought constantly about money, got a divorce because of money, and made a commitment when I got into the relationship I'm in now and the person I married now. I made a commitment that we were going to have full-blown conversations around money. We come from very different backgrounds about money, but I needed to train myself out habits that I learned at a very young age. And I call that your financial archetype. Like once you start to retrain your brain that all this can open up for you and you can write it down and you can read it on a daily basis and really own that you are worth it. You are worth making multiple six figures a year. Everybody can make multiple six figures a year.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of having the mentality to make multiple six figures a year, $1 million a year.
Yeah.
So all of that opens up when that whole shift starts to occur, and it becomes so powerful because you can see it, like people stand taller. They show up differently because they start to just own everything about themselves. And it's such an incredible transformation to see. It really is.
Yeah. I'm loving everything you're describing because that is exactly where I see most female entrepreneurs needing to go. So I know we're coming to the end of this interview and I can't believe it does not
already.
It does not feel like we've been talking this long, but so I know one of the things that you work with your clients on is how to make their money work for them. Can you give us a simple strategy? And I know we'll dive deeper in this in the next interview, but can you give us a simple strategy for how we can do that?
Yes. First, you have to make the commitment to invest in your future self. I know it's kind of a strange concept because you will, like I said before, you will hear a lot, pay yourself first. I'm sorry. When I pay bills, it seems like an obligation.
Yes.
I want you to invest in what financial future you want. For me, it's a Caribbean bungalow. It's sitting on the porch with my grandkids. Like that is my dream, right?
Yeah.
Really think about what you want 10, 20, 30 years down the line and start to invest in that dream. Invest in your future self. So start a big financial, I always call it like you can name your accounts, your big financial account, whatever that is. Like mine would be Caribbean bungalow, right?
Right.
And start with $50 a month. Let's just start there because you can always up it, right? Once you're comfortable with the $50 a month. So just start there because that is the first step in the right direction to have a financially free future.
Nice. I love that. And I love that it's kind of a baby step. Everybody can afford that, right?
Yes.
Don't go out to eat one evening. Instead, put that money in your bungalow.
Exactly. In your bungalow. I love it.
So, is there anything else that we need to know about building our financial legacy right now before we get off of here and move to the next interview?
Yes. Just say yes. Just say, yes, I'm committed to an incredible financial future. Just say yes.
I love that. And that's simple, right? Everybody can say yes. Say yes, people. Yes.
Awesome.
Very, very cool. So, Katherine, wow, this has been absolutely amazing. How can people reach out to you if they want to work with you, perhaps take one of the courses that we talked about earlier, access some of your resources? How can they reach out to you?
Okay, I'll give you two resources. My online program is wealthtofreedomformula.com, all spelled out in words. And you can access my roadmap. You can get the roadmap, 7 steps to eliminate debt, activate savings, and start building your wealth for the future. And that's at www.wealthtofreedomroadmap.com. And those two resources, you can get lots of tips and tools right off my, wealthtofreedomformula.com. But you'll get the roadmap. which is a great tool if you want to get started and just have an idea of the steps you need to take to start building wealth for your future. So thanks. Thank you, Maritza.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Guys, those links are below this video, so make sure you click on those and take advantage of some of the resources that Katherine is sharing with you today. You will not be disappointed. I absolutely love the way that she teaches financial freedom. It's amazing. If you are part of the All Access Pass, stick around because we are going to be diving much, much deeper into building our financial legacy with Katherine in just a few moments. If you have not yet grabbed that All Access Pass, there is a button below this video. All you have to do is click on it and register, and you are ready to go. It is super simple. It gives you access to all of the videos, not only the free versions, but these deeper dives that we are creating with each speaker as we go through this summit. So definitely snag that. Katherine, thanks so much for being here, and I am so excited to have you again on the summit. Guys, we will see you in the next interview. Bye, everyone.